Growing up, it was super common that if we had a roaster chicken or a roaster turkey, my mom would boil the bones along with leftover vegetables and make her own chicken or turkey stock. Thanks to Michelle Wilson, our friend in the comments section, today I'm going to show you how easy and affordable that idea is. I'm going to take you right from roasting the chicken to making your own broth. You can use whatever leftover vegetables you have, but here's what I'm using today. Today I'm using my leftover chicken bones, and of course turkey works exactly the same way. I have these carrots all shredded that need to be used up, but you could use leftover carrots. I have some celery, and it's a great way to use celery that's about to go bad. I have a couple of potatoes, an onion, salt and pepper, and parsley. And of course, if you have fresh parsley, that would be a bonus. You can use whatever herbs you appreciate in chicken stock. You could even look at the ingredient list on the back of the packaging of chicken stock in the store to get ideas. I'm getting my chicken rinsed. I do prefer to take that bag of innards out. I don't use it, although many people do. It can add a lot of flavor if you choose to use it. So I'm rinsing my chicken, and then I'm going to put it in a roasting pan with some water and put it in a 350-degree oven. I cook it for 15 minutes for every pound. Then I check it, and I want the legs to be nice and loose and almost falling off the chicken itself. If it's not, I'll just keep it in the oven longer. This video is also part of a collab, What My Granny Always Made During the Holiday Season. It was created by Midwife in Nailing It, and its hosts are Taylor Elmore, Missouri-grown Carolina Home, Andrea Shenanigans, Brooke Nicole, Mama Friendly, and D Lovely Life. I'm going to have the full playlist linked in my description box below so that you can see all of the amazing recipes. Look at that beautifulness. Once the feast is eaten, you're going to want to keep your bones. If you cannot boil them that day, you could keep them in the refrigerator. I usually go about 3 days. I don't like to go any longer than that. So I'm putting my bones in. I happen to have these carrot shreds that needed to be cooked, so I'm going to use those. Of course, you could slice up carrots, and then I'm just adding in my other vegetables. I'm going to be straining them out, so I don't need them to be in any particular form or size. I'm going to add salt and pepper and also parsley, as I said before, and then I'm going to add enough water to cover everything. And I'm going to bring it to a boil, and then I'll turn it down to a simmer. If you prefer, you could just be making a bone broth by boiling the bones by themselves, and you need to do that for 48 hours. There is my beautiful broth, and I'm going to be making a soup right now for my son for his lunch to take to work. So I'm cutting up our favorite vegetables again, and we'll be using the broth and leftover meat. Nothing makes me feel more connected to my mother and grandmother than doing these simple things for my family that they did for theirs, and loving my family in similar ways that they loved their family so well. Something as simple as a soup can be part of a larger legacy of love that they passed down to me, and I'm so happy to get to pass down to my children. It doesn't surprise me at all that a homemade chicken or turkey soup has been proven by scientists to have healing powers. This was done the next day, so my broth had chilled in the refrigerator. My husband had put it in these 2 mason jars. You can choose to skim any fat off the top, or you can choose to include it in your soup. The broth also freezes really well, and you can use it for any recipe that calls for chicken or poultry broth. And of course, you can add whatever seasoning you like in soup. I'm just liking salt and pepper. You'll want to bring it to a boil and then let it simmer until all of your vegetables are fork tender. You may have noticed that I didn't add any meat to my soup yet. I like to wait until the very end. Once the vegetables are cooked, I'll add my meat and let that heat through. My vegetables are ready, so now I'm adding my meat all chopped up. I have just found that if I add it too soon, that the meat completely breaks down and more than likely adds right to the broth, and you don't even feel like you have any meat in your soup because the meat has already been cooked once. I couldn't help myself. I just had to give it a try. And boy, is it good. It brings me back. I always loved smelling that stock throughout the house and the soup that my mother and my grandmother would make with it. I'm storing it in a Rubbermaid dish. My son is going to be so surprised. I didn't even tell him I was making it, so he is going to be super happy when he finds out. I hope that you'll remember to look in my description box for the link of all of the ladies' recipes, because I know you're not going to want to miss this. Here's a picture of my mom and dad in some of their happiest years, and I know they would want you to know that God loves you, and I love you, and I can't wait to see you next time.